Introduction to C language. The C language is developed for creating system applications that direct interacts with the hardware devices such as drivers, kernels. C programming language is considered as base for other programming language. That is why it is known as mother language. To be very simple, C is a basic programming language. It is designed for writing system applications like operating systems, drivers, kernels. Let's suppose if you take the device drivers such as audio, video, and you connect a memory to the computer, all these drivers are written in C language. And C is also considered as base for other languages, so it's called as mother language. It's not a standard definition mother language, but we some people call it as mother language because the modern languages like C++ and Java uh, are based on C syntax. For example, in Java, we have something like JVM. You know about Java, it's okay. I think this course is for beginners. So you just remember this. See, even in Java, we have some virtual machines. Those are written in C. So that's why C is also considered as the mother language. And C has some core concepts like arrays, functions, file handling, etc. That is being used in many languages like C++, Java, C hash. C has few concepts that is incorporated into many other modern languages as well. So it's considered as a mother language and system programming language. A system language is used to create system software. C language is a system programming language because it can be used to do low level programming, example driver and kernel. It is generally used to create hardware devices, OS, drivers, kernels, etc. For example, Linux calendar is written in C. It can be used in internet programming. It can't be used in internet programming like Java.net, PHP, etc. See, if you want to, why we call it a system programming language? System programming language is nothing but a programming language that is written for the system. I said you right. We create operating systems, drivers, kernels using this C. That's why it's called a system programming language. Next, procedural language. Why C is called as procedural language? What is a procedure? A procedure is a function, method, routine, subroutine, etc. A procedural language specifies a series of steps or procedures for the program to solve the problem. For example, we want to solve a problem. We write it in terms of steps. Let's suppose you take a mathematical problem. In order to solve a mathematical problem, we write the steps for solving it. That's nothing but a procedure. So C follows the same procedure for solving the problem. So it's also called as procedural language. In C, variables and function prototypes must be declared before being used. You understand what are functions prototypes later. Just remember this thing. Uh, C has procedures, so that's why it's called as procedure language. Procedure means you know this. I just said right, okay? Series of steps or procedures of the program to solve the problem. Next, structured programming language. Structured programming language is a subset of procedural language. Structure means to break a program into parts or blocks so that it may be easy to understand. In C, we may have several lines of code. We try to group together few lines. Let's suppose there are several lines, thousand lines of code. See, we try to group together these lines as procedures or functions. These procedures or functions are called as structures. Next, C is a mid-level language. Why C is a mid-level language? Before knowing mid-level language, we shall know about what is a high level, mid-level, low level. See, the low level languages are something like the languages that are able to interact with hardware, operating system, drivers, kernels, or hardware. Then high level language. High level language is nothing but the language which is easy for the user to understand. The low level language which is easy for the machine to understand. Why C is called mid level language? Using C, the user is able to write the programs, understanding his own standards, and it is also machine friendly. So C is also called as mid-level language because C The user can able to write the program without actually knowing about the low level details much, and it is also able to interact with the hardware, and we can able to write drivers and kernels, so it is low level. Together we call the C as mid level language. I think you understand this thing. Actually, the mother language, system programming language, procedure structure, let and mid level language. Let's have a quick revision. Okay, why C is called mother language? Because it's a basis for all the modern language, so it's called as mother language. System programming language. Using C, we can write the system programs like operating systems, drivers, kernels. So it's a system programming language. Next, why it is a procedure? In C, we write the programs in terms of functions and structure, because we try to break the programs into the functions. So that's nothing but it's a structured programming language. I think you understand this pretty well. Next, history of C language. What is C and who invented it, and why it was invented, where it was invented? We shall see in this. See, history of C language. C was invented in 1972. Invented or developed in 1972 by Dennis Ritchie at Bell Laboratories of AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph. Telegraph, located in USA. Dennis Ritchie is the founder of C language. He developed the language for Unix operating system. It is actually a upgradation to B and BCPL. It has many features of a previous language such as B and BCPL. Let's have a quick review about the languages that are before the C language. Before we continue with the C language, we shall see this. The language year and developed by. Algol is one of the language that was developed in 1960 by International Group. BCPL, Basic Computer Programming Language, 1967, Martin Richard. Next, Language B in 1970, Ken Thompson. Then Traditional C, 1972, Dennis Ritchie. Next, K and R C, 1978, Keringen and Dennis Ritchie. Though C language was developed by Dennis Ritchie in 1972, the first book was released in 1978 by Keringen and Ritchie. Together have written this book called K and RC. You can still buy this book out. You can develop. Okay, you can download the PDF K and RC that's available online. Next, ANSI, American National Standards Institute, actually recognized the C and they standardized it, and that's called 1999. And ANSI committee. ANSI committee standardized the C programming language in 1989. Next, ANSI or ISO, and even Organization for International Standards recognize the C, and they actually mm, they try to standardize the C, and this called this is in 1990 ISO committee. Next, the most latest version of C programming language is C99, and that was in 1999 Standardization Committee. See, a language can have many features, but in order to standardize it, we need certain organization which continuously review it and they reviewed it and they have given the standardization to C. There are many standards like 1989 ANSI C, okay, 90 it's ANSI or ISO, and in 1999 it's C99. In 1990, why it is called ANSI or ISO? Okay, it got ANSI recognition in 1989 and also Organization for International Standards ISO in 1990. So it is together called ANSI or ISO C. Now we have seen the history of C. Let's move to the features of C. What exactly are features of C? It's, if you see the C language, it's simple. What does simple mean? Simple means C provides a structured approach to break the problem into parts. It provides rich set of library functions, data types, etc. It's very simple. C is easy to write this, so it's a simple programming language. Next, machine independent or portable. Unlike assembly language, C program can be executed in many machines with little bit or no change, but it is not platform independent. What is a platform? Platform is an operating system and hardware together. We call it as a platform. It's not a platform dependent, but let's suppose we create a program in Windows computer and we want to run the same program in Linux. We write the program in C in Windows. So we compile it on a compile is the thing, but we translate it to the machine language on one machine. So if we want to run the same program on different machine, we have to compile it again. C is not completely machine independent or portable, but we it can be considered with a little bit of change. We can actually make it as machine independent. Next, I said before, what is a mid-level language, right? C is a mid-level language. Next, structured programming language. We have seen what is a structured programming language. C breaks the programs in terms of functions or procedures, so it's called a structured programming language. Next, C provides rich library. What is rich library? While we move into the programming, you understand what is a library. Just remember this: library is nothing but C has certain functionalities, and certain functionalities are within the libraries. When we want certain functionalities, we can get them from a library. Let's suppose C need a certain feature. Let's suppose uh, a library is something like a store.